We have survived despite all the odds. Sardinia lives, though there is never a moment for relief. In the wars with the Hosokawa Shogunate and Castalla, our colony of Lysandria in the Caribbean has been left to its own devices, and when we finally sent ships to ascertain its shape, we're met with those flying the black. Piracy has been bred in the womb of colonial warfare, of the greed of European superstates, and in the desperation of man. They preach a code of brotherhood and joint ownership, such strange and laughable ideas. But their ships are far from it. This is our moment to seize on the stagnation of our enemies and find victory where none thought it possible. But we must work with scum to do this. It is a necessary evil. And these days, we have so many of those in order to survive. This is the 8th part of the grand campaign of House Torrez and EU4.
During the recent wars, where we have just been struggling not only to fight off Castalla and the powers of Europe, but also our cataclysmic wars with the Hosokawa, of which we have actually managed to win. Although it has been a period of stability and has been so chaotic, so rough upon our country and our people, that administration of the colonies has been very tough. Now, if you remember, there was always something different about Lysandria, which is in Cuba. That was a crown colony established by the monarchy instead of a private enterprise. What that has meant in the roleplay is during the last years when the burghers and the chancellors, who are primarily statists, have dominated, is that the administration of Lysandria just kind of fell apart. All of the money, wealth, and ships have gone to fighting the wars with the Hosokawa, and as a result, including the war of Lysandria, it's fallen into disrepair, it's fallen into chaos. And the burghers, of course, have begun to work with those pirates as a way of stealing the treasure fleets of our rival in Castalla. During that last war of the Hosokawa, when we met with victory, we got news that in Cuba, our government there and our governor had lost all power effectively. Now, in the roleplay, on paper, legally, Lysandria is still there and it's still a colony. But if you show up in an island full of pirates, holding up a piece of paper saying legally we own you, it's not going to go very well, is it? And as a result, the Spanish, the French, and even us in Sardinia, all of our ships are being raided by pirates as the Golden Age appears. So we will need to, at this point, maintain a lot of troops both in the New World and the Old World, which really will split up our troop count and can be very dangerous for us. Thankfully, we do have an exorbitant amount of funds at this point. We actually have one of the largest heavy fleets on the planet right now, and that would be great, except the people who have more are the most important, specifically the British, who have had a bone to pick with us as they desire colonies in the New World, and we're the weakest to go after, and Castalla. The Ming are currently being invaded by like the remnants of the Mongols. The Ming had grown very powerful and built up really a strong base in the east and had stabilized for a long, long period. They had reformed dramatically. It's like we can't colonize much anymore. It's kind of crazy that in 1611 there's really nothing less to colonize. General Alessandria Mika will foray the troops, and we're going to go ahead and fight them to the south of Sassari. This is a battle we cannot lose here. We are going to win it. Age of absolutism. Here we go. Finally a new age. As governments wrest the absolute power in their countries from other parties, they are now able to devote themselves to the building of empires. This is the age of the state, of rulers, and their armies. This is an envoy from His Majesty's government, chancellored by Solomon II. I'm here to treatise with whatever authority calls itself in these lands.
Aye, be richness.
We see that you are under attack by the enemies of Sardinia. His Majesty wishes for me to treatise with you, though we do not recognize your claims on these lands. We do not wish to see them fall to Castalla and our enemies.
Aye, they be sending in troops by boat. Aye, it be their puppet in the West Indies.
His Majesty's government has an offer. We are willing to send 12,000 Sardinian soldiers to relieve you, as legally you are not at war with Castalla. You are obviously fighting a large contingent of Imperial Spanish troops. This is not an agreement for any acknowledgement of whatever authority is left here in Lysandria. but we do not wish to see you fall to the Indies. In exchange, exclusively going after Castala's treasure fleets, as many of your kind have hit our fleets recently in the region.
We not be the only ones sinking ships in these borders. There is another, more rowdy set up to our north. They are docking in the Bahama Banks.
There's a difference between the lot of you?
Aye, we have had our disagreements.
His Majesty's government has known nothing of this. When your ships raise the black and take our treasure fleets, you all say the same to us, but perhaps then we can make this a mutual thing. You have enemies. Sardinia has enemies. Oh, I do see that. Once the garrison is sieged out, we're going to leave a couple of troops here. We have engaged their navy. We pushed it all out of port. Those are all just trade ships and then transports. We captured quite a few of them too. This is incredibly risky. Oh my gosh, we're not going to win this. Election in the Federal Kingdom. Solomon II, our Chancellor, has died. We can choose a statist or a monarchist. It's very shifted to monarchy, isn't it? We'll go for a monarchist candidate. He's very weak, but that's fine. All right, we're at 94% to monarchy. Remember, if we get to 100%, I am going to reform our government to go back to a monarchy. Ever since the 13th century, spectacles made from glass lenses have come to replace the reading stones of older eras. Through thorough optical observation, these lenses have now reached a level of perfection that has allowed even the smallest of things to be enlarged. To the delight of scholars, these new lenses can also be used to create both optical microscopes, allowing them to examine what could never be seen before, and the refracting telescope, allowing study of faraway objects such as the stars. The field of optics is now on the brink of revolution, bringing great benefits both to science, navigation, and warfare. We're very up-to-date on tech now due to the fact that we embrace global trade. We're going to go to line of battle. This obviously being the most important naval innovation in modern history, I would say. Line of battle is when they develop a tactic for ships with obviously lots of cannons to line up in straight lines and just like strafe each other, like going side by side. Because a side volley on a massive warship is absolutely disastrous. There were front cannons on ships, but there were usually not more than one or two. They were very small and they couldn't do much. So if you were directly facing the ship you were firing at, you were in a bad position. Even if you're going head to head, it's a bad position. Neither ship could really do more than just take pot shots at each other, right? In this time period, when big ships happened and there were just tons of cannons, I mean, you have ships with hundreds of cannons, your optimal way of fighting was to try and get, obviously, to have a broadside, of course. So it was all about maneuvering in order to get as many cannons as possible to face the enemy ship, which the line of battle created. Ships would move in long lines, and they'd usually kind of just like sweep around, and they try and outmaneuver each other in order to get in a better firing position, and just have their ships go one by one and fire at them. This was a tactic used for the next almost 300 years. We're making a lot of money. Look at that. We're going to build up the economy. We're going to develop the rest of our provinces we can. We'll develop the colonial provinces too. Our plan at this point militarily, which is what the High Admiralty would be advising our government, is if we can get enough galleons to maintain in the Mediterranean, if we get a fleet there, we can do more to protect ourselves from being just completely destroyed immediately. It also means we can win in the colonies if we do have the advantage. Nope. There's nothing left to colonize in the world. In 1621, that's crazy. The trait of our leader. He's a martial educator. Chancellor Simeon IV Ziani. Military educator. We're very militaristic then. It's a monarchist. The monarchists have almost taken back total power in our government right now. And he would realistically be looking to take that all the way. We could fight a war of the Papal States right now. We're no longer warned by Castile. This is risky. This is the kind of thing that can have us be attacked by Castala or Britain. This is a chance to take Sicily and Africa and colonies. We're going to unmothball the fleet. We're going to bring our troops back to Europe. Here we go. We are at war with the Papal States for the first time in, I think, 100 years. Oh, our Navy just got engaged. Fuck. We're trying to chase them down. The Papal Fleet. Not big enough. Let's land in Sicily. We're going to go immediately. We'll land in Palermo. We're just gonna hold in the straight. They're enforcing peace on us. You gotta be kidding me. That was so huge. But they knew that too, right? There's no way Castalla would let us fight this war and get powerful in the Mediterranean again. I want to fight Castalla, but we need probably 60, 70 heavy ships to even contend them navally. And we're just not there. This is interesting. We might be able to enforce peace on Florida and support the natives. I did want to protect them this whole time because I think they're a natural ally. Given that we hate everyone else in Europe. Yeah, if we get up our relations with the tribe here, we can intervene and go to war with Florida and try and get them back some land. Because at this point, RP-wise, we are just the saltiest bitch on the earth. We're almost as salty as pirates. Like, we just hate everyone around us. Our government is doing anything it can to fuck over all of our rivals. We have no friends in Europe except in Eastern Europe. So if we can fight our allies anywhere and everywhere, I mean, you got to remember, this is the era of colonial wars. Constantly the great powers were working with each other, trying to fuck over all of their rivals. Fuck, not in time. I am going to start improving relations with all the native tribes. That way we can intervene on their behalf in the future. So I guess we will just have a period of peace here. We're going to improve relations with the native tribes, so when they get declared on next, we can send troops to the colonies to support them and help them get back land. We're going to also wait for the pirates to get back, be able to fight after the truce, and then the soldiers we sent south to fight in Papal La Plata, which I suppose have just raided and been occupying the capital of Papal Argentina and are finally going home. I'm going to build up some more impressment offices. We're going to need a lot more sailors for these coming wars. The smugglers are really fucking up our economy. So we're losing at least 10% of our nation's economy to smugglers right now. The piracy is really out of hand. I'm going to switch us to native coexistence. We've completely switched up our policy in the capital, given that there's no lands left to colonize. Are the Ming about to be partitioned by Burma and the Mongols? That's insane. They are. They're Buddhist too, I think. Yeah, they are. Oh my gosh. Buddhist Bengal and Muslim Chagatai are currently partitioning the remnants of the Ming. They were so strong in the early game, and they're really struggling now. We'll build a naval equipment manufactory. We're going to turn Corsica into a naval bastion. Developing economies would very much make sense. We'll go for that. Let's go ahead and build a naval battery on Sassari. I'm going to do the same thing in Tunis. So we're going to actually start. We have a stable period here. We have a lot of income. We will develop our economy, but I also want to make us more defensible here. You know how bad it's been for us in EU4? This is the best we've been doing in a long time, which says a lot. We are currently at like the best place we've been at in EU4 since the death of Castor, I should say. Ah, the Iroquois are at war with Florida. All right, let's see if we can actually enter this war now. This would be huge. We're going to dispatch an envoy to the Iroquois Confederacy, offering them a formal alliance. As promised. They've called us into the war. All right, here we go. This is huge. We're trying to offset the power of the other great Western empires by allying with other powers in the New World. We are going to send a fleet, unmothball it, and we're going to prepare a great force to march. I'm going to dispatch 18,000 troops under the control of Barzone dell'Italia. They are going to land in the Iroquois-controlled region in the north, and we're going to do our best to support Florida, and we're going to try and knock out their navy too if we can here. If we could support the Iroquois to take back a bunch of their territory and develop ourselves a very strong ally in North America, we will be in a much stronger shape in the New World. They got attacked by Sweden too. We're going to have to defend the Iroquois from Florida and Sweden. Sweden has a big navy. Oh, this is going to be interesting. We're fighting a two-front war. Well, the theme of this campaign has been poor allies. And it seems that if we want an ally, we are going to have to fucking fight for it. That is for sure. Bring another army. The one in South America is closer. Let's bring it up quickly. We're going to need to just get as many troops here as we can. This is very dangerous, but we're going to do it. We're fully committing. Here we go. Big battle. We have to win this. Come on. Come on. Oh, we got it. We got the shock. We beat them. We're bringing in another 20,000 troops here. Let's go. They went into port in their capital, which we are sieging out. Big battle. Big fucking battle. Come on! God, look at the morale. It's so much higher. We are rolling really well, though. It's not enough. Deploy might be able to retreat here carefully, and then we can meet up to where the rest of our soldiers. I'm going to do that. We're going to retreat south. The Iroquois just holding off the French troops for us. Here we go. We landed them. We won. We won. Oh my god. Huge. We're at war with Norway, though. Do remember that now, because of this war in Europe. Oh my god, they have... We're gonna go south. We're gonna go south. We'll siege out Florida. We'll just sacrifice the Northern Iroquois territories. I'm gonna repair the fleet in North Africa, then we're gonna go after the Swedish fleet. You gotta remember, Norway isn't fighting the Iroquois, they're fighting us. If we can get the Iroquois to win this war, we're fine. California sent troops up from the west, too. It's very bad. I'm force marching all our troops right now. Oh, we have to get here. We got there. Come on, hold it. Just hold. I don't know if it's enough, though. Oh, fuck, this is bad. Nope, we're not going to win this. Why are they so strong? Disastrous. Fuck. I know what I'm going to do. Come on, come on, come on. 2 days. Oh, we're not dead. We didn't get stack wiped. I paid a lot of money to get us out of 2 wars here. We're in a lot of debt now, but we can actually fight the French. We need to run. The burghers just seizing more land in Europe while we're doing this. All right, I'm going to bring our troops up. We might be able to get a battle here. I'm going to force march it. Come on. This is big. If our reinforcements get in here in time, we win this. And this is the only remaining forces of Florida. Come on! We got there! Oh, fuck, we got there! Alright, so obviously, Sardinia is in the middle of its giant colonial wars right now. Well there, I am an envoy from His Majesty's government in Caesarea. I'm here to speak with whatever authority remains.
Aye. We be taking back the isle from those pesky Castilians.
His Majesty's government is willing to offer you troops and ships at this time. We have given much recently in order to involve ourselves in the New World. If you would be willing to promise us that your fleets will stop attacking our treasure fleets, we can send men and ships, but we need it in writing.
Aye, that can be arranged. We can stop sinking the ships that fly your flag.
Including those of our colonies, yes?
Aye, if they be flying your colors, then they'll be safe.
We do expect you to honor that deal. There's already been one pirate haven destroyed in the Caribbean, and there will be another without our aid here. A representative from the burghers also wished me to ask about the ships that were sent to give supplies from the Bank of Caesarea. We never got their ships back.
Aye, they've been pushed into service, keeping back the Castilians.
Yes, but the terms of the deal from the burghers were that we would give you the money for ships, but we said nothing about taking our own. They were to purchase a commission or build your own.
Aye, but that takes time.
I take it then they will be returned in the future when you have your own?
Aye, once we have built a substantial number of ships, we can send ye all back your way, back shipshape.
We have very good relations with both tribes and the pirates. Basically, everyone involved we can enter on behalf of their wars now going forward. After 30 years of having an envoy stationed in Lombardy to rebuild our relationship with them, we were able to secure an alliance with the pinnacle Italian power left. No, the war reparations. That's destroying our economy. Okay, that makes sense. We've got 10 years of that too. I have to say, I don't think those treaties were worth it. But we did save the Iroquois at the very least. And we're getting hit by the pirates again. Immediately. I think it's safe to say that they broke their agreement.